Wait! Before you get started, I've got an upgrade for you that will help you start getting traffic and making money with internet marketing faster and get even better results. First off, I want to personally thank you for picking up the guide to getting started with internet marketing. You're going to learn a lot, start getting traffic quickly, and make money with what you discover inside the guide you just purchased. But what if I told you there was a way that you could start getting traffic and results even faster? And not only could you see results faster with what I'm about to share with you, but you could find yourself getting even better results. Although the guide you just purchased is extremely easy to follow and is created in a step-by-step format, the fact is, there are a lot of people out there that just learn a lot faster from watching something being done in front of them as opposed to reading about it. How about you? How do you learn things best? Do you like to read and go through a guide, or do you get better results when you watch something being done in front of your eyes? If you're like the majority of people out there, watching a video of something seems to be preferred over reading a guide. That's because most people are visual learners. In fact, many people that buy text-based courses or guides often fail to get through all of the training. And if you happen to be one of the lucky ones that does complete a guide or course, many more struggle to retain all the material in a text-based training. Sadly, most people that read a text-based guide just don't have the patience and motivation to complete it and implement what's inside. But what if you could get comprehensive training that shows you exactly what you need to do to see success with internet marketing? Something that would take you by the hand and give you that next level of training that you need to get results. And not just any results, faster and better results. The good news is you're going to have the opportunity to do just that today. Introducing the video version of the guide to getting started with internet marketing. The bottom line is this: I want you to start getting traffic and making money as quickly as possible. And the little details with internet marketing can often be the difference between getting hordes of traffic that turns into money in your pocket, or struggling to get just a dribble of traffic. Or even worse. If you do things wrong with your internet marketing, you might never get any traffic or make any money from your online marketing efforts. That's why you need to really understand and comprehend every single detail that you're being taught inside the guide to getting started with internet marketing, to make absolutely sure you don't miss any of the key details that can get you traffic and put money in your pocket. Things like getting started and set up with internet marketing the most efficient and effective way, choosing the best traffic sources to use, and turning that traffic into profits. If you miss just one important step with getting started with internet marketing, you could find yourself wasting a lot of your time and possibly never getting the traffic and results that you're after. Sadly, many people that try internet marketing as a way to get traffic and make money never get the results that they hope for because they try to wing it. Don't do the same. When you follow what's inside the step-by-step video training in this video upgrade, getting results is easy. Upgrading to the video version of the guide you just purchased is the solution that guarantees you learn how to do everything the right way. Click the button below to get instant access. And of course, as an existing and valued customer, you get to upgrade with special customer-only discounted pricing. When you consider that this is just like having a private tutor sit down next to you and show you exactly how to effectively use internet marketing to get traffic and make money, it would be easy to put a price of several $100s on this upgrade. But you won't pay anywhere near that when you make the wise decision to upgrade today. Plus, when you take action today, you're also going to get an exclusive bonus of 10 high-quality audio MP3s of all the training. This makes it easy to learn while you're on the go and get results that much faster. When you add the MP3s to the 10 high quality videos that show you how to do everything from getting started with internet marketing to scaling up and having traffic flowing daily, it's impossible to fail. Not to mention, you get to test drive the upgrade for the next 30 days, with absolutely zero risk. If for any reason, or no reason at all, you're not 100% satisfied with what you learn inside, simply send me an email and I'll refund every single penny of your tiny investment. No questions asked. But whatever you do, please don't wait. This offer is an exclusive one-time offer at pricing that's only available to my existing customers. If you wait, you may never get another chance to get access to this at a price this low. Click the button below to get instant access today. As we saw in the last video, internet marketing is for everyone and can apply to many different types of businesses. For the purposes of these videos, though, we're going to broadly categorize viewers into two groups. Those with an existing business they want to promote, and those wanting to set up an online business or make money directly through internet marketing. And for now, we're going to concentrate on the second group. If you already have a business, this is still worth watching, but if you're in a rush to get to the good stuff, fast forward to the section on website creation. If your plan is to build an entirely online business and to make money either directly from a blog or perhaps by selling digital products, then the first thing you need to do is to choose a niche, or niche as some people pronounce it. The term niche in this context essentially refers to a subject matter, an industry, and an audience. In other words, a niche can be health or it can be knitting. This is what your blog is going to be about, it's what the products you sell should be about, and it will determine precisely who your business is marketed at. Choosing your niche is one of the most important steps in creating a successful online business. And the reason for this is that it will directly impact the amount of competition as well as the size of your audience. So if your subject is health, then you're going to be going up against millions of other websites, and this is going to make your life very difficult indeed. When you write a blog post on how to get abs, it's going to be incredibly difficult to get that to the top of Google, seeing as there are so many other blog posts on getting abs. Likewise, if you post in a fitness forum and mention your ebook, it's not going to stand out or be interesting because there are so many others. Conversely, though, you also need to avoid choosing a niche that is too narrow. If the niche you chose is earwigs as pets, then it will only be a matter of time before you've marketed to the majority of that audience and there's no one left to buy from you. Another important consideration when choosing a niche is what you can offer the audience and how much they are likely to spend. When creating a product, it's always useful to think in terms of the value proposition. Now, this basically refers to what your product is offering to the buyer and what gives it its value, which should be much greater than the face value. When you sell an ebook on getting fit, for example, the value proposition comes from the fact that your buyer will hopefully be much fitter after reading your book and applying the knowledge that they learn. So you're not really selling a book at all, but rather a sexy toned body. You're selling confidence, you're selling energy first thing in the morning, and you're selling physical attractiveness to the opposite sex. And people are willing to pay for a lot of things, meaning that you can afford to charge more for your ebook. On the other hand, if you have a book on cats, then you can only charge people for learning a bit more about their pets, which isn't something people are willing to pay as much for. It's also important to have a very clear target audience in mind. Draw up a buyer persona and think about the exact kind of person who will be interested in your product. Do they have enough disposable income? And do you know where you can reach them in order to market your product? If all that sounds a bit confusing, then the best way to pick a niche is often to find a very big and popular niche with a strong value proposition. And we're talking things like fitness, finance, business, dating, and so on. And then to narrow down to find a specific section within that niche. So, for example, you might have fitness for the over 50s, fitness for nerds, and as a sidebar, nerdfitness.com is a highly popular website. You could have fitness for X condition, whatever you want to put in, fitness for martial artists, online businesses for students, making money online for stay-at-home mums. The list just goes on. And try and think of something that is as original as possible, while at the same time making sure that there's a big audience there and that you can solve a specific need. At the same time, though, try and choose a niche that you genuinely have an interest in and some knowledge about. And this will help you to write better blog posts, and it will ensure that you don't get bored of your business over time. And this is actually one of the most important tips. So don't be motivated by money alone, or you're likely to find your business lacks staying power. Finally, think about any connections you might already have and any contacts. If you happen to know the editor of Gardening magazine, then creating a business in the gardening niche just makes sense. Likewise, if you're a prominent member of a big forum dealing with health, then this is a very logical niche to choose, as you'll be able to post about your blog there and hopefully get a big reaction. In short, try to have an entire business plan ready before you even begin writing. Know your strategy, know your end game, and let your niche dictate all that. The next thing you need to do is to create a stunning website. Now, this is highly important, as your website is what's going to create the first impressions for your visitors and give them the confidence to buy from you. Now, this makes all the difference. Think about your own experience, whether you're looking online for a place to eat, for a specific product to buy, or a blog to read. If the website is well designed, then the chances are that you'll feel comfortable there. If the font is large and crisp, then it will be pleasant for people to read. If the logo is well designed and high definition, then it will create trust for your brand. If the navigation is simple and fluid, then visitors will be able to find their way around the site. And if the Buy Now button looks official and secure, then people will be much more comfortable entering their payment details. How many times have you loaded up a website to get some information or to order food, only to be immediately put off by the dated design and leave? Now, don't let this be the experience that your visitors have of your website. Make sure that it looks clean and professional, and don't accept anything that is less impressive than the very top players in your niche. If you want to be taken seriously, then that is what it takes. So, how do you go about creating such a website? Well, the good news is that these days it's very easy with WordPress. WordPress is, of course, a content management system and site building tool. You install it on your server, and this is usually available through the tools provided by your hosting provider, or you can download the files from here at wordpress.org. Be sure to come to wordpress.org, not wordpress.com. Wordpress.com is where they host the site for you. And then you'll be able to log into a backend and choose a theme and layout while adding posts and features easily. And WordPress is by far the most popular tool today for building websites, and it powers many of the biggest brands on the net. For example, some of the BBC websites run on WordPress, as do the blogs that Forbes magazine hosts, and Wired also is run by WordPress. And it's free, and it has a huge number of different features. It has support from a massive online community and nearly endless customizability. In other words, there really is no reason not to use WordPress. It's a tried and tested commodity, and it makes things quicker and faster for you while still resulting in a highly professional looking end product. Now, once you've installed WordPress, you should then look into adding a professional looking theme. Now, Thankfully, these can also be added very simply by looking at the themes available through WordPress itself or by buying them from various theme stores. And a good one is themeforest.net. And you can see here they've got, at the time of making this video, 31,056 website templates and themes. And as you can see here, prices start at around $2, so it's well worth a visit. A professional looking theme with good customization options will generally set you back about $40. And this is a very worthwhile investment as it can make your site considerably more professional looking, help it to stay responsive so that it fits the size of the display that it's being viewed on, and generally ensure that it's polished and able to compete with those top players. You also need a great logo, which will help you to brand your business and will give you more marketing options. A good logo needs to be unique. It needs to encapsulate what your business is all about, try to communicate the value proposition if you can, and it needs to be crisp and high definition to look professional. If you create your logo yourself, then it's very important that you use vector files via software like Adobe Illustrator in order to make it look the part. Better yet, outsource this job to someone else. Consider using 99 Designs, which is 99designs.com, or if you're in the UK like me, it'll redirect you to 99designs.co.uk, or perhaps Fiverr, which is Fiverr with 2Rs.com. There are many different aspects to good internet marketing, which include SEO, press releases, social media marketing, influencer marketing, and more. Once upon a time, internet marketing could mean simply picking one of these facets, such as SEO, and then trying to spam it until a site got to the top of Google and started getting thousands of views. Today, though, this method just doesn't work, and in fact is much more likely to get you penalized by Google. Today, the only way to succeed online is by delivering quality, and the best way to do that is by updating your blog regularly. This is the central tenet of content marketing, and as you'll see, content marketing can provide the backbone of your entire digital marketing strategy. So, just what is content marketing? Well, essentially, content marketing means that you're going to promote your website via content, and you're going to use this to bring more people to your website and get them to engage with your brand. People are not going to visit your website or blog out of the goodness of their heart. They will go there because they're looking for something, and that something will normally be content. People use the web to find information, for entertainment or for news, all of which means content. Your core strategy is going to be publishing content on a blog regularly and using this as a way to gradually bring in more and more visitors. Eventually, this should allow you to establish trust and authority within your niche and build up a big following of regular readers who want to find your content. Your content is also what you're going to use to succeed in the various other types of internet marketing. Over the next few videos, you'll see how content is essential for SEO as well as for social media. And that's because content is what people are searching for on Google, and it's what you will mainly share on social media. But the aim is not to bring people to your site in the short term to make sales. Rather, your aim is to get people to subscribe to your site, to bookmark it, and to read it regularly. The way this works is simple. First, a visitor finds your site on Google or via a social media post. The article looks and sounds interesting. They read it and hopefully they have a good experience. But that's not going to lead to a sale, and it's not going to lead to a subscriber in most cases. Rather, they will just make a mental note that your site was reliable and interesting, and so if they see a post from you again on their travels, they will be more likely to read it next time. It's important that your branding and web design is strong, and this will ensure that they recognize the fact that they're returning to a website that they've already been to once before. Eventually, you'll get to the point where they have a question and they decide to turn to you for advice. They know you're reliable. They know they enjoy the way that you write, and so it makes sense that they'll seek you out when they want to know something. At this point, you have their trust, and it will be much easier for you to persuade them to make a purchase or to read your site regularly. Eventually, they'll become regular subscribers and they'll start actively looking into whatever you're posting next. This will mean you have a captive audience, and the next time you want to sell a product, you'll be able to. And no, this strategy is not just for online businesses or ebooks. This strategy can likewise work for a high street store or a hairdressing company. It's all about getting more people to read your content regularly so that you have built that audience and that trust. Of course, some internet marketing strategies might rely less on content marketing than others, but this is an activity that every business should be engaged in. And it all revolves around providing value for free. That may sound great, but the next question is, how are you going to go about doing this? How do you go about adding content to your site that is so exciting that people will want to read your site on a daily basis, especially if you aren't a writer naturally? Well, the first thing is to understand the type of content that gets read and the type of content that gets shared. And a clue here lies in a term that is generally looked down upon by the community: clickbait. Clickbait is content designed to get people to click, and very often it provides little to no value. You'll probably have seen this type of content on Facebook, and these are posts with titles like "You'll never believe what happens next" or "Top 10 X, number 7 will shock you." These titles get people to click by leveraging the power of curiosity. The titles are purposefully vague while also being emotionally charged, by telling you that you'll be shocked or outraged in some way. To look at, the articles appear to offer something completely new, unexpected, and shocking. Unfortunately, when we click on the links, very often we're met with something rather disappointing, and the reality fails to live up to the hype. Now, I'm not about to tell you to write clickbait content. But what I am going to do is to tell you to write content that is similarly shocking and interesting. What you must absolutely avoid are titles like 10 Great Ab Exercises or SEO for Beginners. These titles are contrived. We've all heard similar things countless times before, and they just fail to stand out or to look exciting. Your aim is to write something as intriguing and as shocking as a clickbait title, but then to actually deliver on the promise by making sure that the reality is every bit as impressive as what you were promising in the title. So instead of 10 great ab exercises, how about what happens if you do 100 sit-ups every night? Or anatomy of your abs, the ab muscles you didn't know you had and how to train them. Instead of SEO for beginners, how about the psychological impact of making $$ online, or how I make $200 a day from a site I built last year? These titles are inherently more interesting because they're different, because they have a human element, and because they promise real value. If you use those kinds of titles, you'll get clicks, especially if you post them to the right forums. And if you deliver great value within your content, people will eventually start seeking you out for more unique and exciting stories. Oh, and stories is a very key word here. People love stories. Giving any post a narrative structure, in other words, structuring like a story, and talking about real people who have been affected by your advice is one of the best ways to ensure that people will want to read your content. Some other tips: space out your content well and avoid large chunks of text. Use lots of highly descriptive headings that will inform your readers as to what each chapter is about. Use a nice big font. Decorate your content with attractive images. Write in a manner that is concise, entertaining, and easy to read. And provide lots of links to other resources within your content. From there, It's simply a matter of posting consistently, and I mean at least once a week, ideally more, and keeping the quality high. The length of each post doesn't matter as much, but occasionally posting long form posts, that I mean 800 words plus, will stand you in good stead with Google and help you to provide even more content to your visitors. But what if you don't know how to write? What if English isn't your first language? In that case, you need to consider hiring a writer. There are lots of writers online and they charge anywhere from $1 per 100 words to $10 per 100 words. You don't need to spend that much, but it's highly recommended that you avoid the very cheapest writers. Anything under $1.50 is risky, and that you pay for better quality content. This is an important investment as you won't be able to build trust and find regular readers if your content is written in pidgin English. One concern here is that you might not know how to check if the content is good, seeing as you won't be able to read it in the native language. The solution here is to find someone who can tell the difference and to get them to check it for you. And I can't stress enough how important this is. The key to effective social media marketing is the exact same as the key to effective content marketing: providing value. Unfortunately, this is something that a huge number of businesses have absolutely no idea how to do, and that results in some very poorly managed social media. Take a look at the social media pages of your typical local B2B companies, and you'll find that they tend to post some rather uninspiring and vapid statuses and posts. You'll see things like, "Find out why our content management solution is the best in the business," and "Order our EPOS system today and start serving your customers better." Well, this is nothing but blatant self-promotion and not even interesting self-promotion. Ask yourself, why would anyone be interested in following that? What are they gaining by reading your posts? One of the single most important questions to ask when looking at your social media or your content is, would you read it? If not, then you need to do something to make it more interesting. This means your social media now needs to provide some kind of purpose for the viewer. It should be interesting, it should be entertaining, and it should be useful, or it should be inspiring. Inspiring social media can work particularly well. Take a look at Instagram and you'll find lots of accounts filled with people wearing stunning clothes, posing to show off their rippling muscles, or even just showing off their wealthy lifestyle. Then there are the travel accounts with lots of pictures of beautiful mountain ranges and sunsets. Why do these work? Well, because people see those channels and feel inspired. They live vicariously through them and enjoy daydreaming about having a life like that. They know that if they follow that account, they'll be shown many more similarly inspiring posts, and they continue to live the dream. And guess what? When you then promote a piece of clothing or an ebook on how to get fit, they listen. Examples of popular Facebook pages are things like IFL Science, which posts links to articles with some really eye-catching titles and gets tons of likes and tons of shares as a result. The best Twitter accounts are ones run by personal brands that let fans feel as though they're really getting to know them, with insights into their daily routines, with jokes, or with insider tips. Want to make a splash on Pinterest? Then how about creating a board to show off life hacks, or to demonstrate great outfit choices, or workout inspiration? The aim again is to provide real value, and the way to know if you're doing this well is to ask yourself, would people be disappointed if you stopped posting to your account? Not just your blog, but your social media channels. Your social media needs to be able to stand on its own 2 feet and be something people enjoy in its own right. That's how you gain followers and shares, and it's how you get people to visit your site and buy your products. Once again, from there, the key is to post regularly and to be consistently on topic. Don't create a blog on fitness, but continuously post on social media about your love of gardening, or people will get tired and leave. How frequently should this be? Well, ideally, the more frequently you post, the better. Several times a day is generally recommended, especially since the likes of Facebook will only show each post to a small percentage of your followers. Now let's look at some more tips for getting your social media right. One thing you might be wondering is how you can provide this kind of entertaining, engaging value when you run a website about life insurance. What could you possibly do on Instagram or Pinterest that would be appropriate? Well, the answer is not to think about the service directly, but rather about the value proposition and the audience. Your aim is to post things that will be interesting to the same demographic and will be relevant, but this doesn't have to mean you only ever post directly about life insurance. One example of this might be to make an Instagram account about all the ways to spend time with your family and take care of them as a mum and dad. This has a very broad appeal, but it's also directly relevant to life insurance because, after all, life insurance is all about looking after your family once you're gone. People who want to be better mums and dads can follow your Instagram, which will be in the same spirit as your business. And once you have their ear, you can recommend life insurance policy X. Likewise, you could do something similar with a Pinterest account. How about making all this about ways to save money as a family? You could show money-saving hacks, budgeting tips, etc., and use that to promote your life insurance as the best financial option, or your website as the best place to learn about life insurance. Another important tip is to think about your audience and who they are. If you want people to share your posts, and this is the best way to ensure they reach the maximum number of people, then you need to be sure you're targeting your audience specifically. This is important, seeing as trying to reach too wide an audience will ultimately mean that you don't specifically appeal to anyone. This is the mistake a lot of people make with their posts on how to get abs. They think that they need to appeal to everyone, and thus they end up with very safe and very generic content. But content performs best when it's targeting specifically at a particular type of person. This all relates to the psychology of sharing. Why do we ever share content? Well, there are two simple reasons: to express ourselves or to communicate. We communicate by sharing things that we think will appeal to someone we know. If you see a post on how working from home turns your brain to mush, then you're going to share that with your friend Bill, who works from home, as a cheeky joke, as a way to help them work from home better, or perhaps just a way to show that you're thinking of them. If you work from home yourself, then you might post it to express how you feel about working from home and to help others understand you better. But notice that in both scenarios, the post only works because it applies so specifically to people who work from home. While being very specific might appear to exclude potential customers, it makes it much easier for you to market to a particular type of person who is likely to buy from you. And to make this work, you need to spend some time profiling what that person is like. How old are they? What gender are they? What are their hobbies? What websites do they spend time on? You'll see why this is even more important shortly. Once you've decided how you're going to provide value through sharing your blog posts or by posting images, you'll then need to make sure you have a strong brand that will have some good visibility and tie your social media channels neatly to your website. It's important that when someone sees a post from you, they know it's from the same website that they saw the other day. So make sure you have a good logo and use that as your profile picture or your cover image on each account. Likewise, use the same name wherever possible. Another tip is to integrate your social media and your website as closely as possible. It'll take a while to build up momentum on your social media, but one thing that you can do to help that along is to add social media buttons to your website so that people can check out your Facebook page directly from your website. Ideally, you'll gain new followers each time someone goes to your website. That way, they'll be more likely to see your future posts and share them, bringing in yet more visitors who can subsequently become followers. Also important is simply to ask people to follow you on social media. This is particularly effective in videos, so if you have a YouTube channel, then don't be shy to simply ask the people watching to follow you on Twitter and give them some good reasons to do so. Similarly, at the end of a blog post, why not just ask your readers to share the post with their friends using the handy sharing buttons that you provide? It's also a good idea to integrate your various different posts to save time and to ensure that you fill each channel with as much content as possible. For example, you can make it so that you post all your tweets on your Facebook page, or that each new YouTube video is automatically shared on Twitter. Don't forget that social media is still primarily a communication tool. One of the best ways to ensure people are engaged with you is to actually talk with them and to do something as simple as just following people or liking their pictures. If you've ever used Instagram, then you'll be familiar with how pleasing it is that someone has started following you, especially if they look like a professional brand. Likewise, it's great when they comment and say, "Nice pic." This will motivate you to check out their channel and, in many cases, to follow it. So just spend some time posting and, of course, be sure to actually respond to people. Running contests and surveying your audience can also be a very good way to increase engagement and to get a better idea of what your followers want to see from you. A good example of a contest is to award a follower with a free gift if you get over X number of likes. This can help you to build more shares and likes, as well as being a great way to thank your fans.